morning, Year 7s. So we're going to do a quick recap on what we have learnt so far. So, when you have two signs next to each other, so two signs next to each other. For example, if you have a positive with a positive, in general, when there's two positive signs next to each other, it becomes a positive still. So, good guy in the world, another good guy in the world is a good place. If we have a good guy in the world and a bad guy in the world, basically, the world is terrible. So it transforms as a terrible world. Vice versa, if we have a bad guy in the world, we have a good guy in the world is a terrible place still. If we have a bad guy in the world and another bad guy in the world, they're bored for being bad, they combine together and they become a good world. Alrighty, now that's your recap from what we have learned so far. Can you guys write down the heading for me? Orders of operation. Order of operations. That is your next heading for today's lesson. Now, for the past 4 lessons, you have learnt how to add integers. You've learned how to subtract integers, multiply, and divide. So these here are called operations in mathematics. Okay, so we use these to operate numbers in math. Sometimes the order of these will be jumbled up. So this is when we need to have some rules placed, and we call this, and you have heard of this before in primary school, BODMAS. Okay, so BODMAS is what orders everything together. Now, we're going to look at what each letter represents. Pretty easy. B stands for brackets. Okay? So I think about B for the beginning. The beginning always happens first. Okay? O stands for of. Okay? D, give a guess which one represents D, which is your division. M, which is mathematics, multiplication, so you multiply. A, addition, and S, which is subtraction. Okay, now in terms of this, I like to think as the D's and the M, the division and multiplication, as kings and queens. So this is the king, this is the queen. Okay? They are equal levels of hierarchy. So we say the division and multiplication are equal. Now you're wondering why I'm saying this, but I'll tell you guys very soon later on. Now, the A and the S, the adding and subtraction, they are the brothers and sisters to the prince and princesses. So I'm going to write prince and princesses. So the siblings are equal hierarchy as well. Now, do you guys reckon the king and the prince are on the same level of hierarchy? Obviously not. The king is higher. So whenever you see a king coming first, which is division, you do that first. When you see a prince or princess after, which is addition or subtraction, you do it last, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a few examples. So my first example is minus 5 times 2 plus 3. If we have a look at this, we have a multiplication, which is the queen, and we have a addition, which is the prince. Which one is more important? Obviously the queen is more important. So you put brackets around the two integers that surround that sign. So the queen multiplication, you put brackets around there to tell us that we are doing this first. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite it. Remember, in math, we always go downwards, so make sure your layout is very neat and tidy. Minus 5 times 2. Okay, so we ignore the negative first. What's 5 times 2? 10. We have a negative and a positive number. A negative, positive, bad guy, good guy. The world is bad. So we have a negative there. This is not in the brackets. I'm going to rewrite it underneath here. We have only one sign, easy to solve. Minus 10 plus 3. Notice how I'm doing an equal sign underneath again, which is minus 7. And that is how I would like you guys to set your working out when we are doing BODMAS. Alright, I'm going to give you another one. So let's say we have, for example, 4 plus 10 divided by 5 minus 2 times 3. So let's just have a look at this. How many different signs do you guys see here? So we see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now these 4 signs, looking at them, the division and the multiplication are more important. So I'm going to put brackets around the 2 numbers that are next to my division and the 2 numbers that are next to my multiplication. Okay? I'm going to rewrite my next line. My 4 stays the same. My plus stays the same. 10 divided by 5 is 2. My minus stays the same. 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay? Now, looking at this, we have our addition and subtraction. Because they are on the same level, it doesn't matter, okay, which place the plus and minus is. You go from left to right straight away. So you read it as you normally would. 4 plus 2, which is 6. 6 minus 6, which is 0. And that would be your answer there. So notice how my equal signs are going downwards. Alright, I'm going to give you guys another 3 examples before you go off on your own. I'm going to rock that. Alright. So, have a go at these ones by yourselves. See if you can do this one as I'm writing the next 2 examples. Alrighty, let's have a look at this first example. Now, we have something that's a little different from that compared to these 2. Okay? So as you can see, this one has brackets. This one has no brackets. You have to add that in yourself. So, the brackets go first. It is basically your boss. You have to look at your boss first. 6 minus 2, which is 4. You always do the brackets first. I'm going to rewrite whatever we have on the next line. We have a positive and times. Which one do you reckon is more important? So we know the times is more important. I'm going to put brackets around there because your multiplication is more important than your addition. Okay? I'm going to rewrite the next one. My equal signs underneath each other. We have 4 plus 3 times 5, which is 15. Pretty easy to solve. You go underneath again. 4 times 15 is 19. and that is my answer there. For example 2, we have 3 times bracket minus 4 minus 6, close bracket. Which one do you reckon is more important? We have the B for boss, for brackets. We do that first. So 3 times. Now notice how these two signs are not next to each other. A very common mistake that people do is they think it becomes a positive, but it's not right. So once the signs are not next to each other, you work it like you normally do. So minus 4, minus 6, okay? So if we have a look at our number line, you start at minus 4, we've done that before. You move it to the left 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get minus 10. Okay, so that's your minus 10 there. We ignore our positives and negatives. 3 times 10, which gives you 30. Positive number, so good guy, bad guy, the world is bad. Okay? And last example for the day. Now, do you see how in this case here, my signs are next to each other? That's when you transform the worlds. So, good guy, bad guy, the world is terrible. Yeah? Here we have bad guy, so 2 bad guys, they combine, okay, to make a change in the world. It becomes a positive world. I'm going to rewrite this. 8 minus 7 times 4 plus 2. Now, looking at this, we have a minus, times, and plus. Which one do you reckon is more important? So subtract, addition, multiplication. Obviously the queen is more important. You put brackets around the 2 numbers next to that sign. So that's my brackets there. I'm going to rewrite it. 8 minus 7 times 4, which is 28, plus 2. Now, see how we have 2 signs left? Minus and plus, subtract and addition. They are the same, they're equal. So it doesn't mean the prince is much better than the princess. We're all equal siblings here. So we can do 8, we just go straight across, okay? If they're equal, we go straight across. 8 minus 28, which is going to give you minus 20, plus 2, I'm going to go underneath again, minus 18. So minus 20 plus 2 is minus 18. And that is how you should be setting out your work for BODMAS, okay? Your equal signs going down, your final answers each step going down as well. I don't want you guys to do it all in one go because you can easily make silly mistakes. Alrighty, enjoy your lesson.